Welcome to The Explainer. I am so thrilled you're joining us today because we are looking back at a month that is literally already going down in tech history. June 2026 is going to be remembered as the exact moment the artificial intelligence industry fundamentally shifted gears. We've officially moved past the era of chatbots and into something entirely new, incredibly powerful, and, as we'll see, highly controversial. We've got a ton of ground to cover today, from groundbreaking technical leaps to completely unprecedented government interventions, so let's get right into it.
So I want you to consider a pretty fundamental question. For the last few years, we've basically been living in the co-pilot era, right? AI was like a highly advanced autocomplete. It suggested lines of code, it helped debug, but at the end of the day, you were still driving. But what happens when the AI stops just making suggestions and actually takes the wheel to build entire applications autonomously? That massive leap from passive assistance to proactive agents is the defining story of June 2026. Okay, let's dive into this. We really need to define two critical concepts to understand this shift. First up, we've got vibe coding. This is what most of us are used to right now. Human prompting, trial and error, that constant back and forth where you guide the AI step by step. But then we have agentic engineering. This is autonomous action. In this new paradigm, you don't micromanage. You just give an AI agent a complex, high-level goal, and it independently plans, implements, and iterates on its own. It'll literally run continuously for hours to solve a problem. It's a total workflow revolution.
And it is absolutely crucial to understand that this autonomous leap isn't just happening in the digital realm with software. It's completely exploding in physical AI right now. Take a look at the scale of this training data. Researchers have developed Humanoid GPT, which is an AI model trained on a staggering 2 billion motion frames to control robots in real time. 2 billion. And the real-world deployment is moving at breakneck speed. The Chinese government has already ordered the relocation of 10,000 entertainment robots directly into factories, warehouses, and hospitals by December 31st of this year. These agents are officially entering the physical world. Now, swinging back to the digital space, this crazy new level of capability actually required a whole new classification. Enter the Mythos class model. This is a term we saw solidify with Anthropic's latest releases. A Mythos class model isn't just a smarter chatbot. It's a completely new tier of frontier AI engineered specifically for those autonomous, long-horizon tasks and complex problem-solving loops we just talked about. It's designed to work as an independent team member, not just a tool. So here is our structural roadmap for today's explainer. 1. The autonomous agent era. 2. Claude Fable 5 arrives. 3. The open disruptor, GLM-5.2. And 4. The unprecedented government shutdown. Section 1. Claude Fable 5 arrives, the peak of closed-weight agents. Now, what's really interesting about this number is just how perfectly it illustrates what Fable 5 can do. Let's look at the payment processor Stripe. They actually used Fable 5 to execute a migration across a 50 million line Ruby codebase. Yes, 50 million lines, and Fable 5 completed the entire task in a single day. To put that into perspective, Stripe estimated that the exact same work would have taken a full team of highly skilled human engineers over 2 months to finish. That is the sheer power of long horizon focus. But it isn't just about crunching back-end code. Fable 5's visual reasoning is, honestly, it's practically magic. It can actually play the Dame Pokemon Fire Red natively, just by looking at the pixels on the screen. No structured background data fed into it, just pure visual strategic decision-making. In a more practical setting, you can literally give it a single screenshot of a complex website, and it will generate a flawless, fully functional HTML, CSS, and JavaScript replica from that image alone. And the benchmark numbers absolutely back up these real-world demos. On SweBench Pro, which measures an AI's ability to resolve complex real-world GitHub issues, Fable 5 scored 80.3%. Its predecessor, Claude Opus 4.8, scored 69.2%. In the AI world, jumping 11 points at the very top of a frontier benchmark isn't just an incremental update. It is a completely different tier of intelligence and capability. Anthropic seemed absolutely untouchable. Section 2, the open disruptor, GLM-5.2, and shrinking the open source moat. To really set the scene here, Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei confidently stated that open labs are 6 months behind closed proprietary labs. It was a pretty bold claim about the security of their lead. But GLM 5.2 dropped exactly 6 days after Fable 5. 6 days, not 6 months.
And as we're about to see, this wasn't just a rush response to steal the spotlight, it was a serious heavy hitter. So the crucial point here is the stark difference in pricing. We're talking $10 per million input tokens for Fable 5 compared to just $1.40 for GLM 5.2. And for output, it's $50 versus $4.40. That is roughly 1/6 the cost. Plus, both of them offer a massive 1 million token context window, which is absolutely essential for loading in entire code repositories. For developers out there building agentic workflows, GLM 5.2 completely changes the math. And the wild part? You really aren't sacrificing much for that huge discount. The independent benchmarker Artificial Analysis actually ranked GLM 5.2 as the #1 open weights model on Earth. On standard coding benchmarks like Terminal Bench 2.1, GLM 5.2 scored an 81. That's sitting just a few points behind Fable's 5's 85, and it actually beat out previous frontier models. It basically proved that open weights can absolutely compete at the agentic level. But adopting GLM 5.2 definitely comes with a complex set of trade-offs, mostly balancing sovereignty against governance. Because it has an MIT open source license, enterprises can completely self-host the model on their own hardware, specifically an 8X H200 GPU setup. This is amazing for data privacy because your code literally never leaves your servers. However, the catch is that Zhipu AI remains on the US entity list. So if you decide to use their hosted API instead of self-hosting, your data is routed through a China-based company, which is a hard governance line for a lot of sensitive enterprise projects. Okay, Section 3, the unprecedented government shutdown. Geopolitics meets frontier AI. The timeline for this literally reads like a tech thriller. Check this out. On June 9th, Anthropic releases Fable 5 to the world. The very next morning, on June 10th, a surprisingly simple Unicode jailbreak is discovered online. By that afternoon, the US government issues an export control directive to Anthropic, giving them a mere 90 minutes notice. A 90-minute warning. The result? A total global shutdown of the model for all non-US citizens. Because Anthropic couldn't practically verify the nationality of every single user instantly, they had to pull the plug entirely. They even had to lock out their own foreign national employees. The fallout was, as you'd expect, massive. And the industry immediately fractured into two camps regarding why this actually happened. Now, to be clear, we are just neutrally reporting the facts as presented by both sides here. The official government stance cited severe national security vulnerabilities, claiming the jailbreak allowed access to highly dangerous material like bomb recipes. But on the other side, skeptical commentators pointed to election year politics. They noted that Anthropic had recently refused to fund certain political PACs and suggested the 90-minute shutdown was an orchestrated move for reputational damage rather than a standard cybersecurity patch procedure. Regardless of the exact trigger, the shutdown absolutely proved how high the stakes have become. And this brilliantly illustrates the broader mood right now. A recent JP Chase report captures this underlying anxiety perfectly, stating that the architects of the technology are themselves proposing wealth redistribution to cushion its impact is a striking signal about what the industry expects is coming. The creators of these autonomous agents know exactly what's happening. Displacing months of human engineering in a single day, that carries massive, undeniable socioeconomic weight. So June 2026 proved that the technology absolutely works. The agents are here, they can code, they can reason, and the open source community is literally just days behind the proprietary labs. Which leaves us with this final, truly critical question. As the open source moat shrinks to virtually nothing, how do we balance the unstoppable momentum of AI innovation with the very real demands of national security? The genie is well and truly out of the bottle, and the rules are being rewritten in real time. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope it brought some clarity to an incredibly complex topic. See you next time.